That's what I'm talking about.
Wait! Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys.
Welcome to HighEdWeb Pulse, your Monday morning energizer covering insights and trends in higher ed marketing and enrollment. I'm Mallory Wilsey, bringing over 15 years of ed tech and marketing expertise to your earbuds.
And I'm Seth Odell, joining the Pulse with my own adventures from leading marketing at top universities to founding Kanahoma, one of the industry's fastest growing digital marketing agencies.
Each week, we bring you the kind of insider insights you typically only find over cocktails with your pals at a conference.
It's fast, it's fun, and it's designed for you, the busy higher ed professional.
You're not just listening to another podcast.
You're checking the pulse of higher education.
HighEdWeb Pulse is part of the Enrollify Network, a robust collection of podcasts designed to help higher ed professionals like you grow. Explore our other shows at Enrollify.org. Enrollify is made possible by Element 451, the next generation AI student engagement platform, helping institutions create meaningful and personalized interactions with students. Learn more at element451.com. We are here live at HighEdWeb, and I am sitting down with my friend Anthony Robinson, the founder of The Devoted. Anthony, I met you at an event like this. I've known you for just about as long as I've worked in this space. So I'm so excited to be here interviewing you today. And in fact, what our listeners don't know is at this event exactly a year ago, we were sitting down having a drink at the bar, and you were showing me some concepts for this idea you had for a new agency. And so it's kind of incredible. Very impressed. 1 year later, we're back.
Yep.
And you are now the founder of that agency. So talk to me about it. How's the last year been for you?
Yeah, so The Devoted is, a sort of a work based on what I saw as an opportunity in higher education, right? I've worked in higher ed for 15 years, starting at Virginia Tech and all the other various different agencies that you see here today. But one of the things that I kind of notice, even as you walk around, is there are not any Black-owned agencies represented at this conference at all. And working at these higher education agencies and working for over 75 different schools all over the nation, the one thing I realized is that they were looking for teams that looked like the students who they were trying to get to come to their schools. They were looking for teams that looked like them, both generationally speaking and racially speaking and demographically speaking. And I think there was just an enormous opportunity to be able to provide that. And taking my experience and being in higher ed for this long, and then kind of weaving in a message that felt real, a message that felt like it spoke to this opportunity directly, was one of the things that I wanted to do. And being able to launch it this year has already paid off with some great partnerships. And so, yeah, I'm just proud to be able to be here and be at a conference where, this all kind of started for me in higher education, and where I learned all my skills and people really took me in and taught me the ways of, enrollment and other types of things. And yeah, that's sort of why we're here today. So I'm very excited.
The marketing that you put out on LinkedIn and Instagram is different. Like, it's different than everyone else. Like, you and I have both worked at the agencies in this industry, and we are very familiar with the type of marketing that they do to build awareness. And you're just taking a very different approach. I love it. Talk to us about it.
Yeah, you've seen some of the ones I'm trying not to get in trouble, how directly I post at or mention or even at other types of agencies, depending on what they're doing out in the marketplace. But I don't know. It's about authenticity to me. Speak real to people. Like, you're working with teams and you're working with other marketing professionals that do what you do. And if they have to sift through the bullshit just to be able to understand what you're all about, I think you're making it more difficult for your audiences to connect with you. And so when you see our post out there talking about, being a certified G Corp or a Black-owned agency, or, we wanted to be seen in this way, and the types of places that that I think take advantage of higher education institutions and things like that. We're very open about what we believe in because we're trying to make a mark. And also, when you are real like that, when you go out and you say those things and you mean it, that means that when you do get a partnership, they hold you accountable to that. That's what they expect out of the relationship. And so that's just a challenge for us too, right? It's not just marketing. We believe this shit. And, we want to make a real difference. The people that we put in front of us or the people that we put in front of you in order to do this marketing, and the people who we're trying to connect with, we're trying to tell real stories out there. We're trying to show impact. We're trying to show what community looks like. We're trying to show your differentiators and stop telling people that you're the best kept secret in your community and that you're a diamond in the rough and you're all this other stuff. You got real work to do. You got real problems. And you also need an agency that looks you in the eyes and tells you what you sometimes don't want to hear without being fearful of not getting that next paycheck or not building a strong relationship. And I think telling the truth and looking your clients in the eyes is the first way to do that. So the marketing is really a reflection of how we communicate to our partners. And I think it's at the current moment is paying off, but it's also very challenging because you got to keep that up. So
tell us about one of those projects that you are bringing the real to.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. So one of the ones, that we're going to be rolling out actually next week is the Youth Sentencing and Reentry Project. And this is a nonprofit based out of Philadelphia that is all about ending the practice of charging juveniles as adults. In Pennsylvania, or Philly, where I'm from, represents 25% of all children sentenced as adults in America. 25%. And so this organization was founded by two amazing women who basically put their law careers on hold to go out on a whim to try to stop this trend in Pennsylvania. And this is their 10-year anniversary. They wanted to rebrand. They wanted a new website. They wanted a new, platform. They wanted a new marketing strategy. And we worked with them over the course of this year to rebuild that for them. And so what's going to happen is, hopefully with this rollout is, the communication to the communities, not just in Pennsylvania, not just in Philly specifically, but the opportunity to bring young Black men home in America, and that when these Black men return home, they most oftentimes give back to their communities, give back to organizations, bring other people back home, become advocates instead of going out and then going back into the system. So it was something that was near and dear to my heart, and to have them as the first client to really showcase what the Devoted can do was a testament, not only to what our messaging was, but also to those type of organizations. So this is the type of change that we're trying to make in the nonprofit world, and I think higher education is also ripe for storytelling and things like that too. So look out for that case study and those launches next week.
That's really impressive and powerful work. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Let's shift gears for just a second. Last year, when we were at HighEdWeb, I think we were two of the only people who were talking about artificial intelligence at this conference. Like, you had a session.
Yep.
So I know that you're an AI enthusiast, and listeners of The Pulse know that I'm obsessed with generative AI. So how are you incorporating AI into your work at The Devoted?
Wow, that's a really great question. So just as a small business, I have 5 people that I'm working with, right? And every day is something new or something that comes up, whether or not we're, putting proposals together or building out strategy documents and all this type of stuff, right? The biggest thing, that's really a load off of our shoulders is what we like to call our second brain, right? It's a combination of tools to basically solidify and codify decisions that are being made over a course of a period of time. If you would imagine having 4 clients running concurrently through different phases making decisions almost every day on something, things get lost. And there's no amount of notes in my document or Word or email and all that other type of stuff where that decisions get lost and ideas get lost every day. And so for us, a combination that we've been using between Gemini, Notion, and Read AI has allowed us to basically create this second brain for us. And it's not just, it's recording and transcripting our notes, but it's more like it's helping us kind of see opportunities in conversations that we didn't even realize were there because of the summaries and because of the keywords that are being said in there. We're like, that's what they were talking about. Actually, we should think about doing a social media strategy because there's an opportunity to connect with this particular audience who's at this age range. And like, there's things that you don't pick up sometimes in these conversations, even as no matter how good you are, how long you've been doing this as an agency, you miss things. And I think this idea of the second brain for us has been phenomenal in that case. And in terms of AI and how we use it, we try to train our clients on common sense AI implementation into their workflows, right? So we're not trying to replace humans by any means, particularly in these organizations. We're trying to show them how can you use the humans that you have available to your organizations in a better way to make them more effective at their job. There's a bunch of shit that nobody wants to do at every organization, right? And if we can eliminate those things and people can have more joy out of their role and their job, that is where I think as long as we blend the human aspects of what AI can bring to it, instead of, I think, focusing on the capitalization of AI in terms of profit and bottom end, I think that there can be a delicate balance where they can coexist and there doesn't have to be fear in implementation of the usage of AI. It's the same in my organization. So, yeah.
Preach. AI enhances humans. It's not going to replace us.
Yep.
I love that second brain use case. That's awesome. I'm speaking about building custom GPTs and lightning talks tomorrow morning. And I feel like as you were talking about how decisioning can get lost or pulling out these key themes or different things, I'm like, whoop, there you go. There's a great use case for a custom GPT. You just drop your summary notes or your notes from that conversation in. Bam, I can spin all of that out right for you. And you've just saved yourself probably 30 to 60 minutes worth of work.
Yeah, no, exactly right. I'm going to go to your talk because actually we were just talking about this internally. We have probably over 150 transcripts of conversations we've had with our clients. We have written, I think, 10 different case studies about how we want to talk about the work. We have our own internal brand mantras. We have our own tone words. We have our own messaging pillars, and we have our own guidelines, right? So being able to take all that content, and then if I'm able to save 50% of my time writing the next case study, that's worth it. If I can feed it that information, if it can start to talk like we talk, it doesn't naturally do that. I don't think so. Training GPTs, instead of using, I think, out of the box ones, gets you closer to, I think, a more authentic brand identity. So yeah, we've been playing around with that idea. I think it's brilliant. And I think that's probably kind of the next step, or should be, for some of these really large organizations that have widespread branding, sort of brands all over their place. This person leaves the organization and the brand goes with them because they're the only ones that know how to write in said brand, versus, again, transferring it to a place where it can be recreated. I think that is a perfect use for, custom GPTs and things like that.
Yeah, you could build that in an hour and be done with it. There you go.
Smart.
All right, well, I guess come to my lightning talk tomorrow. You'll learn all about it.
Promotion.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap this one up. Anthony, I appreciate you taking some time out of your busy HighEdWeb schedule to chat with us at The Pulse. If listeners want to find you or The Devoted, where should they look?
That is the-devoted.com. The-devoted.com.
Twice, just in case. Thank you. All right, listeners, we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye. The HighEdWeb Pulse is part of the Enrollify Podcast Network. If you like this podcast, chances are you'll like other Enrollify shows too. Our podcast network is growing by the month, and we've got a plethora of marketing, enrollment, and higher ed technology shows that are jam-packed with stories, ideas, and frameworks, all designed to empower you to be a better higher ed professional. Our show helps higher ed marketers and admission pros find their next big idea and features a selection of the industry's best as your hosts. Learn from Brian Gross, Eddie Francis, Jenny Lee Fowler, and so many of your favorite leaders in higher ed. Enrollify is made possible by Element 451, the next generation AI student engagement platform, helping institutions create meaningful and personalized interactions with students. Learn more at element451.com.